This is an FFG Top 10. I'm Paul Burry.
And I'm King Gamer.
And this FFG Top 10 is going to be about the top 10 worst fanboys. We had something happen recently with a fanboy, and the guys are thinking, hey, let's do a top 10 on the worst fanboys. You want to start?
Yeah, my number 10 is Activision.
Ah.
So I'm just going to start off. When Destiny came out, the MMO first-person shooter, we reviewed it. We didn't want it. It was an MMO and a first-person shooter. It's going to fail on our scale. We failed it. And then we got a whole bunch of emails. Well, you need to re-review it. Look at the DLC.
From the tolerant and diversity crowd who celebrate diversity?
Yeah, then and there's the Call of Duty people who are like, why aren't you reviewing these games? Review these games. And then we reviewed one of the old ones and we failed it. Why'd you fail it?
Yeah, you shouldn't review this. Well, then don't ask us to. My number 10 is Atari. The Atari fanboys back in the day were horrible. I mean, I understand, they beat ColecoVision and Television. But when Nintendo beat them and then they lost with the Jaguar and all the other losses Atari had, it was like, I think Atari's been bankrupt more times than,
More times Sega's had a good Sonic game?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been bad. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is Nintendo.
Yep.
I mean, the Nintendo fanboys started out and they've been kind of still going. And you have the people that are like, Wii U's better than
everything else. Yeah, you're like, no. My number 9 is the iOS gamers. A lot of them are just horrible.
But the question is, can we really consider them gamers?
I don't know. I mean, some of them aren't, but I mean, they're just...
You're spending $20 for an old game, you get a physical copy and a system.
Yeah, an iOS gamer is just, I mean, they're like a lot of the nasty casual ones who just hate on anything that's not their kind. It's bad. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is Sega. Shenmue, Sonic. I mean, Sonic 06, I actually liked it, despite most people.
And they've been really going down after buying Atlas. It's just, Sega's just getting worse.
And there's Atlas fanboys.
And the Sega fanboys, I mean, some of the Sega fanboys are still like, I still hate Nintendo. How long ago was that?
The Genesis is still better than the Switch. I don't care what you say.
You're like, okay. My number 8, and I'm going back old school, the Dragon Warrior fanboys. You remember back in the day before there was Square Enix, when there was Squaresoft and there was Enix, and the Dragon Warrior games released and the Final Fantasy games released, the Dragon Warrior fanboys were pretty nasty. Now they were outdone by something else, but we'll get there in just a minute.
Yeah. My number 7 is taken by Square Enix.
Oh.
Final Fantasy 15. It's a very long game. It took me 20 hours. Where's my $40?
I love one of their producers. It's Game of the Year. No.
And then there's the other...
I'm not sure what planet you live in, if you're walking down a Hoka street eating a Hoka sandwich, but this is reality.
They're racing games, because they did like one racing game or something. That racing game had terrible controls. They should just stay in RPGs, but then again they came to those right currently.
And the funny thing is, my number 7 is related. It's the Final Fantasy fanboys. I told you there's somebody worse than the Dragon Warriors. The Final Fantasy fanboys were nastier than the Dragon Warriors. They're together, very close, but the Final Fantasy ones just left a whole lot worse bitter taste in your mouth.
My number 6 is Blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
Blizzard, mostly PC, but Blizzard is World of Warcraft, and they're so committed that they actually die because they can't get up and they bother
StarCraft, and they don't have a lot of Diablo. I think they have like 3 games or something.
Yeah.
My number 6 is Microsoft. If you have not dealt with a Microsoft fanboy, they'll fuss about the brick that was the Xbox, and then they'll fuss about, they hate Sony, and they're really annoying. I mean, and I kind of feel bad for the Microsoft fanboys because they can't really get first place. Xbox was beat out by PS2. Xbox 360 was beat out by the Wii. And now the Xbox One is beat out by the PS4. I mean, always a bridesmaid, never a bride, Microsoft. Sorry.
Well, Switch might come in and smack both of their faces.
Yeah.
Whack. My number 5 is 2K.
Yeah.
The entirety of 2K, just the 2K sports, they're so determined that live is bad with basketball. They're so determined that their games are better, even though most of the time they're worse, more difficult. 2K baseball is all I need to say.
Oh, yeah. That franchise died thanks to horrible control schemes. And really, they would never update it. They wouldn't listen either. We tell them stuff and they just be like, well, we're going to go the opposite. Well, thanks for listening. My number 5 is Sony. Sony fanboys at the top of the industry, at the bottom of the industry. I mean, whether they're winning or losing, they are just nasty to deal with. Just sorry, they are.
My number 4 is Microsoft. Microsoft isn't as bad as Sony, which we'll see later. But
Yeah.
I have other reasons they're not as bad as Sony, but Microsoft, you got the Vista, Windows 7 Vista. They refused to buy anything Microsoft until Windows 10 came out because they're like, no, that it doesn't have our features. We don't like it. We're not gonna do
Yeah.
anything because it's not what we wanted.
My number 4 is Sega. I think we've gone over them. So, you want to move on to your number 3?
My number 3 is EA.
Oh, yeah.
EA fanboys. You got the people that think that Star Wars Battlefront EA is actually good.
And they haven't played the old PS2 one, so.
And you have the people that think the Need for Speed franchise is good. It hasn't been good in a while.
Yeah.
What was the last good one? The one on the Wii? Even?
Maybe. I mean, maybe
that was
farther back.
There was one where you could play as cops, and that was probably the only good one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, PS3, Xbox 360, I think. My number 3 is Nintendo. I think we've gone over that. Nintendo fanboys are just nasty, and they're just, obsessed, unhealthy. I think they need to see someone about that, and not Mario.
My number 2 is Sony. Sony, what they'll do is they'll kick scream and pay as much money to any developer that they can just so they can get an exclusive on their system.
And how many times has Sony been hacked?
Quite a few.
And
like,
their fanboys don't seem to care. They're like, we have security.
so many games, what they'll do is they'll be putting out maybe $50 million just to get 1 or 2 more items so people go play PlayStation.
Oh, the microtransactions, yeah. Yeah, oh. My number 2 is Mac. If you have never dealt with a Mac fanboy, oh my goodness. I used to work at an Egghead software store when I was in the Tacoma area off of 38th Street, top of the hill, close to the mall. And it was horrible. I mean, they would come in. We had mainly PC software. We had a little bit of Mac. And they'd be like, these highbrow, stuck up, noses up in the sky people who are like, where is all the Mac software? It doesn't sell. Well, you need more Mac software. It doesn't sell. It sits here on the store shelf. You're like the first customer in months who wants anything Mac. And they were like, Mac is better. We are better. Your prices are higher.
Where's Mac now? Where are they at now?
They're still floundering on. They still have nasty, huge prices, but, whatever. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is probably the same as yours. It's the Master
PC.
Race. PC.
Yeah, PC gamers. They think they're the master race. They think they're all that in a bag of chips. I mean, PC gamers are
PC gamers are like, well, we've been around longer than everyone here. PCs were around longer.
Yeah, we're better than consoles.
We're the longest surviving one because Atari technically had keyboards, and it was like Atari was kind of a computer, so like we were around in the Atari days.
So that's our top 10 worst fanboys. If you have a comment, please leave it below.
If you have any positive reinforcement, please leave it down below.
And if you think there's some worst fanboys, tell us which fanboys you think are worse.
I would like to thank everyone for watching and say, hope you have a wonderful day.